Casey and Meg are inseparable, and they're sisters. They were born into this not so functional family, and when they grow up, they choose different paths. Casey is doing drugs, and Mickey decides to go into law enforcement. Now, eventually, there's a string of murders in Philadelphia during this opioid crisis, and the sister, Casey, disappears. So now Mickey is completely obsessed trying to figure out what happened to her sister. Is she even alive? She's gonna have to go to some of the darkest places in Philadelphia, have to go to these empty houses where addicts get together, feed them, try to figure out a way to get information to find out where is her sister. Is she hiding from her? Is she dead? Where is Casey? And this is a story in Long Bright River by Liz Moore. If you remember, Liz Moore's book from last year, The God of the Woods, was the winner of the Goodreads Award. And this is actually how I got introduced to her books. Her books are always very, very long, but they are mostly literary mysteries, so you'll get a lot of more of character development and relationships and all that stuff that will lead to a twist. At least on this one, it will lead to a twist at the end that I did not see coming. Now, as you go through this book, you're gonna go through the process of family members fighting for people with addiction, family ties, fate, and a lot of the conditioning that a lot of people get when they're born into a dysfunctional family. And we're gonna be in present time as she's looking for her sister, and we're also gonna be in past time where she is explaining us how they grew up and how they got to the point where they stopped talking to each other, which means that they stop not, it doesn't mean that they not care for each other or that they don't like each other anymore. It's just that their paths are so different that it's hard to agree in some of the basic things. And at the end, as I mentioned before, there is a twist that I did not see coming, and I felt like the ending was very fulfilling for me anyway. The way that things happen and how it's all explained and kind of leading towards a conclusion for this family, I felt like it tied the whole story very well. As I said, it is kind of a longer book. It's about 480 pages, but I think that if you are into the story, if you can really immerse yourself in it, and I did read it in tandem, so the audiobook is really, really good, but the story, I think that it will grab your attention. And for some people, I remember we talked about it during book club, and for some people, this is too close to home. I remember somebody saying, I have this family member that struggled with drugs, and I just cannot read about what this family had to go through as they were fighting addiction. And but it's so much more than that, because it explores characters and how you can be sisters, you can be brought up by the same people, but we can all make different decisions. Not that some are better or some are worse, but we can always look back and say, well, that was a mistake, but now I can do better. Now I know better. Now I can do better. So even though it touches on a very heavy subject, especially if you have somebody in your family that is an addict, I think that what the takeaway of this book is a lot more than that. So I definitely recommend it. This was a 5-star book for me. I did get The God of the Woods, but I'm reading a lot of arcs that as soon as I'm done with those arcs, I want to read The God of the Woods, because I think that Liz Moore has a very interesting and different way of writing that really vibes with my brain. Even though this is almost 500 pages, I still get invested enough in the story, and I can tell you that I remember every single twist and turn in this book, which almost never happens. And I think it's the literary part of it that for some people makes a book slow, and I'll tell you, this is not a slow book. This is an exploration of lives, decisions, family. And if anything appeals to you, I think you should give it a go. I definitely enjoy every minute of this book. And again, if you're looking for the audiobook, it's amazing as well.